So what are some of the differences between the new Apple Series 6 watch and the old Apple Series 5 watch? And then they got this SE watch as well. Let's find out. All right, so if you've been paying attention, you saw that Apple had the event in September and they brought out this watch. Now, one thing that was missing from that event that everyone's going to talk about is there's no iPhone there. So the iPhone 12 looks like it's going to be pushed back to maybe an October event, so stay tuned for that. But what they did actually talk a lot about was this new Series 6 watch by Apple. So in this video, I just want to go through really quickly some of the key benefits of the Series 6 versus the Series 5. And then there's this SE watch that's kind of stuck in between there. And really, what is that, just so you understand it? I'm going to show you some different pictures of what they can look like as far as the design elements. So if you're interested in the Series 6 and you want to know what actually changed, stay tuned for the video, and we're going to go through all that right now. All right, before we actually start getting into everything, I just wanted to say Apple did follow through with one thing that's a negative. On all the Apple Series now watches, Series 6 watches, they don't actually come with a wall charger. So they actually have a USB port, but you're going to have your own wall charger, like using your phone charger or something. They said they were going to do it on the iPhones. No one really kind of believed it, and it's probably going to happen. But they're definitely doing it now on the watches. And, they say it's because of e-waste and stuff, but obviously it's to save money. But just keep in mind that you're not going to get a wall charger now with the Series 6. And that could be, obviously it's just one of those things that they keep, chipping away, and they raise their costs and they keep giving you less. So the Series 6 watches, they actually do start around $399, and I'm going to show you some examples of how high they can actually go. And then they have the SE model as well, and that's going to be somewhere in the 200s. But you can configure it differently again, and you can raise that cost. So if you want to, if you have an older generation watch and you just don't want to spend the $399, there is another option for you right now, and it's going to be in that mid 200s. So let's go ahead and show you that again, and we'll get into this. And then at the end of the video, I'll kind of wrap everything up. All right, so here are the three different models that they're actually offering on the Apple website right now. And you can see it's from $399 for the Apple Series 6 watch. The SE version's in the middle here, and I'll get into what this is all about. And then we actually have the Series 3 over here. And why isn't the Series 5 here? We're going to get into that in a second. But if you look at this, the middle SE starts at $279, and then you can actually buy this Series 3, which goes way back for $199. And you can buy it directly from Apple, which is a good thing. In any case, this is what the lineup is right now online, and let's get into what these are. So really quickly, let's go through some of the differences between the Series 6 up here, the SE, and the Series 3. And I'm going to kind of explain where the Series 5 slots in here, because that's kind of what the video was about. So here's the Series 6. If we look down here in the SE, which is the cheaper version, basically there's some differences in finishes. This actually, the Series 6 actually does come in silver, space gray, gold, blue, and product red, where this one over here, the SE, only has silver, space gray, and gold. You can also get this in stainless steel and titanium for the Series 6. That's where you're going to get that cost to go up. So the features, if we kind of scroll down all this stuff, don't worry about the Series 3. We'll come back to that. But the Series SE and the Series 6, these are the ones you can get right now. If you look down this, the GPS is the same, the compass is the same, the always-on altimeter is basically going to be a new feature, but it's on both the SE and the Series 6. So this new feature does exactly what it says. It continually tracks your elevation changes, which is a brand new feature for this watch. Now, it's water resistant to 50 meters, water resistant to 50 meters. Those are the same. The main differences here, as you look down this list here, is going to be the blood oxygen sensor. And this is actually a brand new feature. And really quickly, you can see the back of the watch now. It says it has basically four LED clusters and 4 photodiodes. And this is what measures your blood. It basically measures the color of your blood, and it tells you your blood oxygen levels, which is great during the time of the coronavirus. So anyways, that's a good difference right there. And again, it's good if you're, wanting to measure your blood there. And then you have this electrical heart sensor, the ECG app. And in a nutshell, this new feature, the ECG cardiogram, is going to basically be exactly what it says, a single lead electrocardiogram. And sometimes doctors like to look at this to see how your heart's doing and stuff. So it's going to just be another sensor to help you out with fitness. And then if you keep scrolling down, though, there's not that many other differences down here. If you look, basically second generation optical heart sensor, they have those international emergency calling, emergency SOS. These are all the same, gyroscope. So let's keep going as we can kind of scroll down this whole list here and look at everything. They're all the same down the board. So realistically, so far, the only difference is the blood oxygen sensor and the electrical heart sensor, which are good features, but that's the difference in the cost right there. As we go down the displays are exactly the same. As you can see, brightness is the same. This is the main difference here. There is one other difference, is the actual Series 6 up here on this category. It has an always-on retina, where this one does not. So this is always on the Series 6. The SE is not. That's a main difference. And this feature, they say, is quite a bit brighter outdoors when your wrist is down, so that you can see all the information on your watch face more easily than ever. So you don't have to always raise your watch up to your face. So anyways, that's one of the good features, is the always-on retina. If we look at the chip too, there's a difference here between the SC and the Series 6. The SC uses the SiP with 64-bit dual-core processor, and that's going to be about 20% faster, and it has the same 18-hour battery life there. It's actually based on the A13 Bionic, so that's what that chip's going to be based on. But everything else here is very, very similar. This does have U1 chip ultra wideband, which is going to be the wireless connection. That's a little bit different between these two versions. But connectivity is going to be very similar as well. Main difference between the SC and the Series 6 though is the Series 6 has 5 gigahertz where this SC does not. And then power, again, they're both going to be 18 hours, even though the Series 6 has, an advanced processor. They kept the actual time up to 18 hours for charging. All right, so charging time takes about an hour and a half, from 0 to 100%. But now that people are actually wearing these sleeping to measure their sleeping habits and stuff, you got to find that kind of window of when to charge it. Keep in mind though that it takes usually about, I think about a half hour to 40 minutes to go up to 75% somewhere in there. And then the last part usually takes, the second half of that time. So if you want a quick charge, usually a half hour to 45 minutes. That's all good. So if you can see, everything's very similar here. Now, the reason I say why do we compare this basically to the Series 5 versus the Series 6? Well, if you look at this really closely, realistically, the SC is really going to be the Series 5, and Apple's just kind of repackaging it and repricing it. And the Series 6 is actually the new one. So they've really just discounted the Series 5 and maybe added one feature to it. And then over here, you got the Series 6, which is really the new iWatch. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of what I wanted to show you this video about. Is basically the difference is very minimal. And if you want to kind of get a Series 5, but just a little bit of updates on it, maybe some new bands and stuff, go with the SE. But on the Series 6, that's really where the new watch is. And then, so if you're going to be buying the actual Series 6 watch, the more advanced one, you can take a look. Apple does a good job on their website here. You can see that they actually have a page where they have a lot of the different configurations and the costs. So you can see the one on the left there is $749. The one in the middle is only $399. You can see how the watch, actually the outside of the watch now could be gold or blue or red. So there's a lot of different combinations of the watches you can buy. And if you go through this page, there's a bunch of them, but you can kind of order, there's a maroon one in the middle, there's a pink one on the left. It just goes to show you, without having to do it yourself, they just put up a lot of cool configurations, yellows and browns and greens. And again, you can see that some of these bands though can be quite a bit expensive. I think they were around $100 for the band. $100 for a cheap band like this? It's a tough call. Anyways, I just wanted to show this page and just show some of the examples and some of the costs, but these are the high-end ones down here that are around $749 with the metal bands. So the SC is really just a Series 5? Seems that way. All right, so what did you think? Well, not too many changes for the Apple Series 6. It's just kind of another iteration of the Apple Series. The SE watch is basically the exact same as the Series 5, so it's just a kind of an upgraded Series 5, and I wouldn't even call it upgraded. It's just maybe a lower cost Series 5. So if you're looking at the SE, that's all that is. And so those are the two different models they have. Obviously, there's some key differences. If you want the blood, the blood meter and things like that, you want to get the more expensive Series 6 versus the SE. But there's not too many differences, to warrant that cost difference. Again, with coronavirus out there and things like that, it could be a pretty good upgrade. But, it's one of those things where, money's money, and you got to just figure if it's worth the extra $150, $200. Sometimes it's not. So anyways, if you want a good watch, the SE should be, more than sufficient for you compared to some of the other models out there. Anyways, if you guys like my channel, like my videos, definitely subscribe. I make, 2 to 3, hopefully around there, maybe 3 to 4 a week. It's going to help me build the channel. Definitely post comments of what you want to see, topics and things. Always looking for new topics. Anyways, talk to you soon. Maybe in a day or two. Peace.